Assalamualaikum and good morning. Today I will be presenting about hardcore property and income inequality in Malaysia using findings reported by the Department of Statistics Malaysia DOSM. Malaysia has made remarkable progress. We are closer than ever to eliminating hardcore property, but at the same time inequality still influences how people live, how the economy develops and how government finance operate. So in this presentation, me, Salia Rifa binti Subaha, will discuss what have improved, what challenges remain, and why public finance plays such a critical role. Now we move on to the introductions. Why this issue matters. Poverty and income inequality remain important issues in Malaysia, especially in the last 5 years. The COVID 19 pandemic disrupted employment and reduced household income. At the same time, rising inflation and cost of living increased financial pressure on many families. Because of these challenges, government intervention through public finance become necessary to protect vulnerable households. Now we move on to the next slide. Now we move on to public finance and government interventions. Public finance refer to how the government collect revenue and how it spend money. One of the main role of public finance is income distributions. This means the government use fiscal policy to reduce income inequality and poverty. During economic crisis, public finance help maintain social welfare and economic stability. Now we move on to the next slide. Economic issues, hardcore property, and income inequality. To understand this issue clearly, hardcore property refers to household whose income is not enough, even for basic food needs. Absolute property is slightly broader. It refers to household whose income is below the minimum level needed to live decently. Meanwhile, income inequality refers to how unevenly income is distributed across society. This is measured using the Gini coefficients. If the Gini value is high, inequality is high. If it's fall, it shows income is becoming more evenly distributed. During the COVID 19 pandemic, many households become more vulnerable due to job losses and income reductions. Therefore, reducing hardcore poverty become a key priority for the Malaysian government. Malaysia's current situations, the Department of Statistics Malaysia DOSM reported truly impressive outcomes. Hardcore poverty has almost been eradicated, currently at 0.09%. Absolute poverty has declined to 5.1%. Average household income has increased to 9,155 compared to 7,901 previously. And importantly, the Gini coefficient decreased from 0.404 to 0.390, meaning income inequality is narrowing. So on paper, Malaysia is moving in a very positive directions. This figure shows that government intervention has been effective. Now we move on to the next slide. The reality behind the data. However, although statistics look positive, they don't tell the full story. Rising inflation and cost of living pressure reduce the real value of income. Urban households benefit more compared to rural communities. States like Sabah and Kelantan still face higher property level. Many households are no longer classified as hardcore poor, but they are still living on very tight margin. So progress is happening, but it is uneven. In addition, many workers are employed in informal or low productivity jobs, making them vulnerable to economic shock. Now we move on to the government interventions. To address these issues, the Malaysian government implemented several interventions measures. This improvement did not happen by accident. They reflect strong government interventions. Malaysia has implemented targeted cash assistance like Sumbangan Tunai Rahmah, strengthened social protection system like ECO648 and MALAYSIA, introduced minimum wage adjustment, expanded skill training programs, and provided subsidies for essential goods. Long-term investment in education and healthcare improve human capital under the Madani economic framework. Together, these interventions help protect vulnerable households and support income recovery. Implications on public finance. In public finance terms, property intervention require money, meaning greater government spending in the short term and a heavier fiscal burden. However, in the long term, it strengthens the economy. When people earn more, they consume more and contribute more taxes. As households become more financially stable, dependence on welfare programs will decrease. Therefore, property reduction improve fiscal sustainability and should be viewed as an investment. So property intervention is not just social spending, it is an economic investment. Now we move on to the next slide. Now we move on to impact on society. Government intervention also bring positive effect to society. Reducing poverty improve quality of life. Families can invest in educations which build human capital. Health condition improve because households can afford nutritious food and healthcare. Lower inequality reduce social tension and promote social cohesions. Now we move on to the next slide. In conclusion, Malaysia has achieved remarkable progress in reducing hardcore poverty and improving household income. Government intervention has clearly played an essential role. However, challenges remain, especially inflation, regional inequality, and income vulnerability. Therefore, continuous, well targeted, and inclusive public finance policies are necessary to ensure that Malaysia's progress is sustainable and, most importantly, that no one is left behind. And that's the end of my presentations. I'm Salia Rifa bin Silvaha. Thank you.